Hey guys, so I know I left you off in our office the last time when I was doing our decluttering. I did end up working on it the next day, and I came up with a strategy, but that footage is kind of old. I did film that stuff a few months ago, and a lot of the stuff I talk about in it is almost irrelevant now because I do go through my strategy for things we want to keep, get rid of, and store. And a lot of the stuff I say we're going to completely get rid of or the things that we're going to keep have actually changed over the course of the past few months. So I just wanted to do an updated intro, I guess, for it. And I still have the footage. Sorry, my lighting's changing. I still have the footage from that time, so I'll just put that in here after this. But if you're wondering why I'm sitting on the floor with this weird camera angle, it's because we are going through so much stuff in our house right now that it's kind of a mess, and this is really the only place in the house where you can't tell. So my couch is currently blocking a bunch of the mess, and there's like messes to either side of me. So who would have thought that getting rid of stuff would make your house more messy? So I guess to sort of recap what we're planning to keep, store, and get rid of, basically, initially I thought we were going to get rid of all of our furniture, but my father, who actually lives out here in Denver as well, offered to get a trailer to pull behind his truck all the way back to Kansas, where my mom lives, and store stuff at her house. So we are planning to keep a few pieces of furniture now that we have the opportunity to move things back. But it's really only going to be like our bed, if it'll fit in the trailer, and a few other pieces. Everything else, like I've already technically sold this couch. Hopefully having them pick it up in the next few days. And like, so pretty much everything is still going to be sold. For things we are like keeping to take with us, those are basically just going to be the essentials, like toiletries that we'll need or the clothing that we want to actually wear there. We're not going to take anything else. It's basically just going to be like, what would you bring on a vacation? So just those basics, and then we'll be staying in Airbnbs that are already furnished and fully equipped with stuff to cook in the kitchen. So we're not gonna have to worry about bringing any like household items yet, and we'll do that later when we like officially move all of our stuff in. I don't know if we explained this already or not, but we're going there for a few months to kind of travel around and figure out where we want to live, and then we do have to come back to the US for a wedding in October, and at that point, hopefully by then we'll have decided where we want to live in the Yucatan and bring what we would want to have there with us, back with us. We'll probably just pay for some extra bags on a flight to then take more stuff back with us. I believe when you become a resident in Mexico, you have 6 months from getting your resident visa. Sorry about that. My computer decided that it was tired of filming me, so I had to delete a few things to free up some space on it. But I think what I was saying was that when you become a resident in Mexico, once you get your visa, you actually have 6 months to then be able to import your belongings without having to pay an import tax. So that is what we're planning to do. As for our cars, initially we thought that we would sell both of them, but we are contemplating keeping my car. That way, when we come back in October, we'll be able to utilize that to then drive to the wedding because it is going to be 4 hours away. But otherwise, maybe at that time, then we'll sell it because we don't mind just renting a car every time we come back to visit. So we'll see. We're still kind of playing that by ear. Everything else, though, I think that covers it. Oh, we are keeping some kitchen stuff that was wedding gifts, and I don't know what else. Anyway, that pretty much, I think, covers the recap I had initially filmed. So now I go into like the second day of going through the office, and this time I have a better strategy other than just like trying to tackle the whole thing at once. So I decided to go with the KonMari method, which if you haven't heard of that, it's basically instead of tackling your house by room, you're tackling it by category. So, excuse me, that way you can tell like whether you have duplicates somewhere else in the house. So I decided this time, like for still wanting to get something productive done in the office, I would tackle paper clutter because that is one of the biggest problems in the office, but there's paper clutter throughout the house too. So I actually go around the house and try to gather it up and see every single like piece of paper that I have, so whether that's notes or some kind of documentation, paperwork, whatever, even like pamphlets and manuals and stuff, like all of that I gather up into one place and try to go through it by that category. So in the next clips you'll be able to see how I decide to pare down everything and what kind of documents I decide to keep and get rid of. So now I'll cut to that.
Okay, so I just ran around the house finding all the extra paperwork that we have, and I actually ended up finding some stuff in our guest bedroom closet of all places. So yeah, this pile is from there. There's some kind of manual in another language that I don't know what it goes to. And then we had a new window installed down there from Lowe's, and we have the documentation from that. And then some like, from when I did the relay with my work. We did a marathon relay. I don't know why I have that. And then of course like plain like empty folders. So I really have no idea where this came from. And then of course I have some of my old schoolwork, some French homework. So yeah, fun stuff. I get to recycle that. And then found some like bank statements that were never filed. So have those hiding under there. And then I thought I had gone through all of the cards from my life yesterday, and then lo and behold, in our filing cabinet, I have a whole folder stuffed to the brim with cards from my life. So I need to go through all of these and take photos of them because, you know, memories, and save those so that I can recycle them or throw them away. And yeah, that is what I'm going to be going through today, is this filing cabinet and all this extra stuff down here. Okay, here's the update on the card situation. So I went through this entire folder full of more cards and saved them all. And now here's my pile of recycle here on the left and then trash on the right. I can't believe how many cards come with like glitter and foil and stuff, so you can't recycle them. That makes me super sad. So if you're sending cards, keep that in mind, that you can't recycle them if they have any glitter or like shiny material on them at all. But, and then I did find a few things I really wanted to keep. So on the left, these are like cute cards and stuff that Daniel has made me over the year, or like bought me for like our anniversary stuff, or like, I think that was our first Valentine's Day card he made for me. And then I have like some postcards that I've never actually used, that I just like picked up on some travels. So I don't know if I will ever send them or just keep them or take a photo of them, but I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't get rid of them yet. So that is that so far. So here's my piles after the aftermath of going through this filing cabinet, and guess what, guys? More cards! How do I have so many cards? I was going through this wedding folder, which I thought was just like stuff from our wedding or like invites to other people's weddings that we've received in the past. But no, there's a bunch of like birthday cards, graduation cards in there. Some of these were also in Daniel's like miscellaneous folder for his personal cards too. But yeah, just more cards. So this pile on the left is ones that we can recycle. These are ones we cannot. So FYI, if you receive a card from me Sunday, it's probably going to be really plain because I want to make sure I'm only sending cards that you can recycle. And you should recycle it if I send you a card. Anyway, FYI, future disclaimer. But yeah, so I'm keeping some things in this wedding folder. Some personal stuff from our wedding. So like our wedding program we had made as a little fan. Then like our save the date. So some of that. And then like my sister's wedding invite as well. My bridal shower invite. So just like little memories I definitely want to keep. And then the rest of this I obviously took photos of because, you know, I'm that person. And then these piles are just a bunch of old bank statements, like investment information, and like that's my shredding pile. That is my recycle pile. And then these are all the folders I was able to clean out. I cleaned out quite a few. And then there's just obviously like those random folders, plain folders. I don't know why I have so many, but I think I did a pretty good job on getting rid of a ton of paper. And I'll just show you like the top one was completely full. And look how much space is in the back now. We do have our house closing documents down there, but up here is just like less important stuff, like our miscellaneous folder still. Some stuff I want to keep from my college days, from my eye exam, or my eye surgery I had, and that's just like some car information. And then this bottom one has like all of our important like bank info and like tax documents and whatnot that we do want to hang on to for a little longer. So we decided that we're going to keep the past few years of tax documents, and I think just the past like 1 year of like pay stubs and stuff, just so you can match it up against your W-2. But everything else that's older than that, we are getting rid of in these piles. So I feel pretty good about it. We definitely still have some more purging, but this is a good start.
So that wraps up the paper decluttering for the office, and we've done pretty well to keep that clutter out of the office since then. If you're wondering what we are going to be doing with that filing cabinet and all those papers, I don't know if we're going to keep the filing cabinet or sell it, but I'm just going to keep everything in their folders, and what we do consider important enough to keep we'll be storing while we're gone. And that way, when we come back in October, we can then grab it then to do our taxes later in the spring. Or actually, we are coming back for another wedding in spring, so we can figure out our taxes then and grab all those documents then. I'm not for sure, but we will be storing them while we're gone on our first trip in Mexico. So, yeah, that was really refreshing to get rid of all of that paper. I definitely have always had an issue with keeping too much paper, keeping too many things that I thought were important or that I'd need later or that I'd want later, and I didn't. It really helped like to kind of like take photos of things I do want to keep and then just shred and recycle everything else. So hopefully this inspired you to get rid of some of the paper clutter in your life. We'll be doing some more videos coming up about the trailer that we're going to be packing and what we're actually going to be putting into that and storing. So stay tuned for that and make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Bye!